I would say for like, for the past 2 to 3 years, there's this dialogue that I always reference and I always go to all the time whenever I'm in need of, I would say, hope, you know, because man, a veces, sometimes these stages come like that. Not every day is gonna be a perfect day, but it's so ritualistic when you repeat a saying. There's a there's a verse in the Bible actually. There's power in the tongue where you either speak life or you either speak death upon your situation. And so much, and then, trying to be I'm not perfect, obviously. I'm new to this shit, and trying to be better than I was yesterday, but there's this dialogue that I always keep, and it took me one time to hear it, and that was, in order for something to be built, something must die. And usually in this saying that I go upon myself is recognizing my situation, like, damn, man, like, I'm held accountable. I'm held to do something about it. Like, we can be all petty. We can all be pity and be like, oh my God, like, there's nothing. Like, what do I do? And it's fucked up. It's fucked up. But it's really changing your perspective and being like, hey, well, what are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it? And that's you. That's you. I could be pointing the finger. I could be like, that fool fucked me over. She fucked me over. The government fucked me over. I'm pointing the finger, but it's me at the end. It's me. I'm held accountable. And I don't want to process that. Like, I'm like, nah, but it was them. It was them, AG. Like, I see the truck that's about to hit me, you know? I gotta move. I gotta move. I'm gonna be back and forth with my notes right here, so be patient with me. And yeah, that's that thing is in order for something to be built, something must die. And it's that beauty in wanting more. It's that beauty in wanting that when you're chasing for greatness, when you're chasing something that is so much like bigger than you, G, something so much broader, it's that thing where it's like, I was talking to a homie. I know I'm mumbling on my words, bear with me, but I was talking to the homie like, hey man, I want this. I want I want to make this income. I want the girl of my dreams. I want X, Y, and Z. And then you look at it like, shit, man, you want all this? All right, bet. Pay up. And you give that transaction. And with that transaction, that withdrawal it comes with pain, dying of self, dying of my old habits, not being surrounded by toxicity, and that's culture today, rejecting culture and embracing the new and improved you. That's what it is. And like I said, usually, if not all the time, this comes from a moment of recognition that we need change adentro, like inside, from comes in, comes out. Yeah, sure, this message could be for everyone. Yeah, it is true, but primarily I'm talking to my dudes right here with this whole men's channel. But yeah, it's for everyone. And what I was saying is like all right, change. Like we swear. I mentioned this in my other video, but we swear like it's easy. Like don't get me wrong. Like I said, like cold turkey. There's that thing. Yes, you could. There's addictions. We all have addictions. And I'm not gonna say like I'm perfect. Like you addicted to something. Like I could stop it because there's no bondage. No bondage. You could stop it. With other people it might be difficult, but what I'm saying is it's not a simple 180. What I'm saying is that your words are cheap. Like, oh, I'm gonna do this. Yes, it'll be a simple 180, but and I don't wanna, and learning it the hard way, your words are cheap. Everyone's judging, everyone's looking to see if you about it, and are you about it, I'm not gonna say that I'm this macho motherfucker. I ain't gonna say like I'm perfect. I'm not, far from that. I'm still trying to like keep myself accountable. A little secret, with these going on, this interaction, I'm keeping myself accountable. This is my diary. This is my journal. This is how I could keep myself in check. Like, hey, you gonna do this? You gonna do that? But what happened when you said that? What happened when you mentioned that? There's power in that. This is like my own diary, I guess. And, together we could fiend and be a sponge. And I'm very big on on changing, like, while I'm youngin' right now, I'm 23 and everything, and maybe I'm talking to a younger audience, as if I'm talking to like the homie, or I'm talking to like, like my little brothers. I say this now to really get the fundamentals, like master the fundamentals of trying to be the better man that you can, because it's scary like a motherfucker. Because I know people from high school, and right after high school, they already held, like, they have a baby already. It's cool. There's beauty in life. Don't get me wrong. It's just that you had the reward, and then it's like, boom, responsibility. Now what? And then we juggling like a motherfucker. Like damn, like that, like adulthood. Like my life is done. That's why the perfect time is now, because you're gonna one day be the decision maker of others, for your significant other, your children, And that's why you have to master, it ain't an overnight fix. That's why you need to master in self. Like, what are my weaknesses? What are my strengths? How can I catapult, Because it's like paranoia for me right now. It's paranoia, like, damn, I don't got this done. I don't got this. I need to do that. Well, shit, I need to do that. And that's the whole point of all this is, para nosotros, we can have each other as one, I ain't gonna say I'm perfect. I'm not. I'm learning all of this, because if you want something to live, something must die. This shit ain't a game, And you don't want to know it when it's too late. Like an example, like in a little scenario, and in the dating sense, I'm Christian, I'm not the perfect, obviously. I was never a perfect Christian, but say if I'm in a relationship with a non-believer, and because I rely on my emotions, I know that I can guide, because I rely on my emotions, and I think that I can lead her the way. I'm passive instead of masculine. I'm passive, so I think I know my own way of, like, oh yeah, I'll guide her this way. And I've had my faults. I'll probably do a story time one day, but I've had my faults, and I rely on my emotion. Like, no, it's because if I do this, then this will happen. And then I know my way. And then this will happen. And then from there, because that one time I wanted to satisfy my flesh, that one time, boom, I then have an offspring that will not know the love of God. They will not know the love of God because of my selfish needs. Again, like I said earlier, I could be pointing the finger, well, it was her. I don't know why she be saying these lies. I don't know why they be doing this. It's on you. It's on you. And I'm processing that. I'm like, is it like, gee, but at the end, it's from Genesis right there. God went at Adam and was like, yo, like I put you in charge. I told you to watch over the garden. I told you to watch over her. And where is she at? And then there we all paranoia, and then this emotions and shit, like how it is today, and being like, nah, what you mean? It was her. The one you said, it was her. It's the one you gave me, it's the one you gave me. And then there we were, like I said, not intimate relationship no more. It's more of just anger, and something that I'm trying to work on is not being bitter and all that. But then we start pointing like, it was her. It's on you, because who allowed that? It's not dictatorship. It's authority, and the authority for your own life. In order for something to be built, something must die. When I say like change from inside, it's not a smooth transition. It ain't like I'll speak in my sense. It ain't like a smooth ease, like, oh, okay, yes, like, let's do this. It's rainbows now. Like, it comes from a sickening of inside. It comes from a sickening of I've had enough. Like, I've had enough, almost violent, immense, This, I ain't gonna lie, this is the purpose of all this, of what's going on. It's like I wanna put my voice out there. I wanna speak to them. I got something to say, I got something to spit. I got something to offer, value, hearing it, And with change, then comes the commitment. The commitment for your own life. With me, I know I've already mentioned this probably in a previous video or my past TikToks or shorts, but I've always loved the whole fantasy of movies like Lord of the Rings, Pirates of the Caribbean, Gladiator, 300, and Vikings, you know. And I heard this from somewhere. But in the times of the Vikings was when they would arrive on new land, on a new territory, you would say. They'd arrive on boats, and it was their oath for probably with their families, yeah, their families and everything. And they would go out upon it, and they were ready for that change. And then they were like, okay, we're here in this new territory, this new land. I see that I'm gonna start a family here. I see my new life starting here because I don't like my old town. I've outgrown it. I've outgrown it. And it's necessary to start life here, to produce fruit. And, you know, it's not an easy transition. Obviously, they wanted to go back to what they've known. And that's the same what the message is. It's like, I want to go back to what I once knew because I know everything. I want to go back to that relationship because I know them. I know they'll hurt me, but I'm afraid for that new unknown. I'm afraid. So I'm going to go back to my old ways. I'm going to go back into what I once knew. That jump, that risk, that take is just, I don't know. I don't want to start over. And the sick shit that I know today is I got loved ones and everything that settle with their partner. And they have the audacity to just sit down, two strangers living in one home, growing out their golden years, and it's just two strangers, and they can't come face to face to say, I love you. We all deserve what love. We've all deserve love. We all need that unconditional love, and it starts from the source, and that's God. And it's your decision to go into the unknown. It's your decision to be like, oh, like, I want that part of my life. I know I'm still healing. It's not an overnight fix, but you know what? I'm ready for the change. And even starting something new, you thought like you had this job. If I'm speaking in my own sense right now, I'm getting personal. I'm speaking in my own sense. Like I have this job. I know I can, like I'm here. I'm getting too good at this. Like I know my position. I know that I can do my spot on great and amazing. But man, there's a dead end to this. But should I take that risk to do that other company? Should I take that risk to do that? And it holds more weight when you have loved ones, you know? Like, damn, this would be great for my family to take that trip, to take that risk for that $5-10 raise. But damn, my job here is easy. Do I want that responsibility? I don't know. It's that risk. You know, speaking to the dude right here is, you need to teach your family of what it is to jump ship, to abandon ship. What's the definition of abandon? Is to keep away from danger. You've outgrown your house. You've outgrown your job. You've outgrown yourself, and it's time to sprout. It's time to move and grow. And you know it like a thorn in the belly. When God is telling you, you know it from the thorn of your belly is, hey, you've outgrown this. It's time to move. It's time to do this. It's time to get a bigger house. It's time to do this. Move the city. You know it. It's time to grow. And when you do that, you teach your loved one and your children of what it is to jump ship. And también, you teach your family what it is to be in deep waters. In other words, to trust God. And ain't that a perfect reflection? You know? Ain't that it? You know, it ain't easy. I ain't gonna be like, oh yeah, shit, G, like easy for you to fucking say, you know? And that's why I come, so that we best prepare, that we best hold it down, that we best you would say is to be aware, to hear the message. You hear the message in the wilderness, you hear the message and you respond. I guess is my version of seeing the truck, you know, you see it and you know you gotta move, you gotta do something else, you know. With the Vikings, yeah, is they to show that they were like not anxious, but they were like barbarous. They were violent. They're like, I'm gonna show you how great I am. I'm gonna show you that I'm willing to go all the way and to commit to show you, like, I'm just to show you that I'm that committed is I'm gonna burn my boats. And they would torch him, would light up their boats on fire, and there's no way to go home. There's no way to go back to what they once knew. And imagine that, G. You're here, and then there's the enemy right there, and they're like, hey, I'm here, and I'm gonna get this, and to show you, I'm gonna light this up. Ain't no going back home. So either I'm gonna die trying to get this land, or I'm just gonna, or I'm gonna win it, and that's on verge. Sometimes things need to be on verge. Sometimes things need to be at a state where it's like you put everything on the line, and we reflect upon our lives, like, damn, like, what is a boat that I might burn in my life, so that I can get to that next best version of myself. Sometimes it might be bondage. You're in a relationship that is not good, in a toxic relationship where it's like, damn, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. It's like, it's on and off, and you've had these confirmations, like, damn, it shouldn't, I shouldn't continue this. I shouldn't. And there we are, just with it. You know what you need to do. You know that it ain't good for you, but you just stay there. That's something that you might ought to burn and get rid of. In order for something to live, something must die. Maybe trying to transform your physical appearance, I know that I need to get this out of the way. I know I shouldn't be drinking, abusing this, X, Y, and Z, but hey, I'm still here, We wonder, like, I wanna catapult to this part of my life. I want to do this, but you know what? Sometimes you need to take away things first. It's like, hey, how about we do this first? And even speaking on like how I mentioned with those relationships, you thought in the very beginning, like, you thought that was the end of the tunnel. You thought, like, damn, like there's hope. Like, there's hope. There's hope for that. There's hope in this relationship. Like, you see it, like, and it's messed up. I know it in today, where there's couples where they think you're in a relationship. You think that the light is at the end of the tunnel. Your partner would throw out lies. I'll do this for you. I'll do that for you. I'll promise I won't do this. I promise I'll be there for you. You're willed in. Lies after lies after lies. And then before it's too late, that's the definition of in bondage, of a demonic attack. In bondage, that's what a demon does, is it lies to you. It says, oh, I promise I'll give you this. I'll give you the city. They tempted Jesus. They said, I'll give you all of this. I'll give you all of this, and this will be yours. I just need you to do this. Jump. And that's a lot of us today. Like, oh, are you sure you'll do this for me? Okay, well, another toxic, willed in, and we're baiting it before it's too late. And it's messed up, like I mentioned in one of my previous TikToks, is that we end up having a lost cause. We end up bringing in a child into a world where mommy and daddy don't know the love. And right there you have a child that won't know what it is to have a figure, to have a compatible relationship. But who didn't end it? Who started it? Us. And what does culture teach you? In all of this? Like, hey, like, I've been noticing and recognizing it for quite some time, like, not directly, but you would read the signs, and I wanted to touch bases on this. This was big, is that what does culture teach you? Hey, man, that's a bit too much. Hey, man, like, tone it down. Hey, that's a bit radical. That's not necessary. That's not necessary to be doing this. You can't call that out. You gotta tone it down. That's broad. That's too much. It's not necessary, right? But man, fight. Like, you don't just wander on anywhere in life, man. You really don't. You really don't. There's 3 types of people in this. There's quitters, there's campers, and there's climbers. And quitters, the minute shit hits the fan, like something bad happens, we're just in weep. We're in tune with our, like, yes, like just like wallowing, like, oh, I ain't gonna do nothing about it. I'm done. I'm gonna throw in the towel. There's no hope. I'm just gonna, I knew taking a risk was way too hard. I know I'm done. I'm never gonna do that again. I'm not. I'm just gonna stay here and be put. This is my limit. This is my limit. There. Jumping or abandoning ship, it would be foreign to them. No matter how much you tell them, and I've known a lot of people in my life, like, dude, you should do this. You should, it'd be great. Pros and the cons, there's more pros. You should do it. Very little risk. Give it a shot. And I know people like that would be like, nah, G, it's just that, like, I'm good here, like I ain't gonna lie. I used to have a homie back then. I used to have a homie who weighed damn near 300 pounds, and I tried my best, and a fool is fit and everything. Dude is fit and everything, and I kind of know my ways in when it comes to losing weight or just getting, checking your hormones, having your nutrition dialed down, and I would make it easy for him to be like, hey, G, get these amount of steps, eat this amount of calories, you'll lose weight, you'll lose a shit ton, bro. You'll overall you'll have a better quality life of living. And man, I was proud of him. The homie lost like 20, 30 pounds, and you see his attitude changing. He fit into a jacket that he never thought he could, and everything, and then ballooned back up. If anything, gained even more weight, and then I tried my best to be like, hey, let's get back into it, that regimen, and then right there, the person became bitter, and he was like, nah, that ain't for me. Like, I got it under control. You see the motherfucker huffing and puffing, and I'm like, all right, man. And then, when it comes to people like that, they begin to be bitter and just like pointing everything at the world. Well, it was this, it was that, blah, 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 and hey, that was the limit. That was the limit. Like, hey, nah, that healthy living, it ain't for me. That getting in shape ain't for me. Nah, I'm just gonna like do me. And you look at it and you're just like, you outgrow relationships, bro. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Jump to the unknown. There's a lot of other motherfuckers you could kick it with. There's a lot of other people you could kick it with. It's time to grow. And there's the campers, and I myself am still on the edge of this, and I'm back and forth. You've heard of self-improvement. You've heard of these talks. You've heard, like, damn, like, you've heard the news. You've heard of like the you've heard of what the news, you've heard of, like, damn, I need to get my shit together. I've heard that message, and it took me once to do it. But you know what, though? And this is the problem with campers, is we move off of emotions. We move off of that good feeling, that dopamine. I need motivate. I'm speaking to myself right now. It's like, oh, I need that motivation to then get that, I need the feel good to then get it. Like, I had my journey. I did good, but let me just chill back and get fucked up, Let me do this. And that's the problem with campers, is you see the mountain, you see it, right? There's 3 hills. You finish the first 2 and you're like, damn, I can't believe I did that. Damn, like, shit, I did it. All right, there's 2 more. All right, we'll chill here and settle, and then we'll jump on that one, settle again for like whenever we feel like it, whenever I feel good, and then we'll go again, but we'll finish, And that's the problem, is part of this whole journey, part of like this whole niche and everything, and trying to be 1% better, is it got no one nowhere of half-assing. You get your answers a lot faster before it's too late when you go all in, which introduces my next one, is the climbers. Perfect example how I told you about the Vikings is they went all in. They were that committed, and part of commitment is slicing and killing the bad habit that we all have, toxic relationships. Cut the bitch out. Your unhealthy habits, cut the junk food out. What's in your fridge, my addictions, lust. Find an accountability partner that you can exhale to, that you can talk to, and everything, and this is all for our great betterment. What is it that I will do next? What's the route I must take to get to X? Sometimes part of commitment is backtracking, is getting the things out to then catapult. It's no turning back. is taking away fear. And I've really, this was a big part of something that I even noticed too, is like, how can I take away, what are the specific things that I need to take away? What are the boats that I must burn? And I was thinking to myself about this recently, like, damn, G, like, I'm speaking to myself, like, hey, for me, what is a boat that I must burn in my life? What is something that I must get rid of? And I looked at it, and I was thinking deep, and I'm like, well, shit, man, what is it? Something that makes me so afraid? As a kid, elementary, easily middle school, and even high school, and even getting into college, my greatest emotion was fear. It was fear. I was always afraid. Elementary, G, I was always holding on my mom's leg all the time. I was always afraid. Middle school, afraid, nervous, just scared, I was afraid. I was like, no, 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 go back, go back, go back. And then getting older and making more bolder decisions, bolder actions, it eliminates it. And so you catch it and you recognize that weakness and you see your strengths and you want to uplift it and make it more powerful. And I ask myself, well, shit, man, what is it that I can eliminate my strength? What is it that I can eliminate from my fear? And I heard it from this episode. Well, I didn't watch it, but I heard it, that there was this show called Breaking Bad, and it was Walter White. He's on the edge of the bed talking to this dude, and he was basically explaining a story, like talking to him, like, hey, the worst news of my life wasn't that I was diagnosed with cancer. I wasn't afraid of that. That wasn't the thing that got me. The worst diagnosis for me was fear. And boom, it got me. I'm like, damn, G, we all diagnosed with fear. And like, we all, a bunch of, like, I was afraid. I'm like, damn, like, that got me. How can I rebuke that diagnosis? How can I rebuke that fear? What is it that holds me down? And then with fear, it would get to you. It would get to me. Like, damn, like what, like, why am I so afraid? I'm living my life on my terms. Fear was the worst diagnosis, and with fear, you begin a emotion off of being paralyzed, like a camper. With fear, you start thinking, you start show worry eyes. You're afraid, and like, damn, like, what if they think of me like this? What if they think of me like that? Will I be accepted? Will I be not? Is it too much? Is it too little? You start thinking, like, damn, like, is it or not? Is this it or not? But it is to cut that part out. Is to cut that part out, and that commitment and that change. And from there, I noticed that you want to have a burning heart. You want to have a heart, a fire in the belly, a fire of 10, to not be part of culture, to be a new John the Baptist, to be a Nazarite where, I'm not sure, it was a group of people that had this fire for God, and they all made a revelation in that timing. I believe it was in the Old Testament, and that change may start now. If you young, and if you so young, and you come across this channel, that now you don't wait for change until you're 21. Start now at the age of 12. You start now. Don't wait till you're 25. Don't wait. Change, let him get it till he was 20. Let him get it till he's 22. Nah, change can start now. A fire of 10 that it's just now. And sacrifices need to be made for your own good. And that's where discipline comes from. I know I shouldn't do this. I know I shouldn't entertain that. So by default, with addition, is to not look and tease on the other side of the grass. And that'll be a new topic that we ought to talk about, is comparison. Something I'm trying to work on. It's good to be arrogant, and with part of discipline, I'm still learning that whole discipline shit, and kind of doing something that you don't want, but you have to do it, like showing up to class, going to work because you have to, working out. But no, I love that shit, I ain't gonna lie. Is being more arrogant. Be more arrogant with yourself. May your yeses mean yes and your no's mean no, and really stand by it. Because if you want something to be built, something must die. It's the recognition to move and to be all in, like a soldier of God. Like, when you're all in, you're able to get your answers faster. When you're all in, you're able to have that better transaction and have a better direction, I'd say, in life. Because when you half-ass it, you tiptoeing it, you're just like, oh, I don't know, this is too much, like, nah, I don't know. You won't know what would be best for you, you know. If you want something to be built, something must die, you know. And like I said, to end off with this video, is it's that risk, it's that making that sacrifice, it is making that transaction, like, hey, I need to do this so that, because I've outgrown it. Like I mentioned earlier in that earlier topic, was, you know what, like, I've outgrown this. Maybe I'm sick of my situation right now, I've outgrown this, but you know what, I need a jump ship, I need to abandon ship. And from there, you teach your family of what it is to go in the deep waters and trust God. And from there, that's what creates an impact, and if anything, your generations to come. I know I went on a good tangent right there, but yeah, that's what works for me. You know, you'll definitely get more videos of this and all that, but in order for something to be built, something must die.